Hello, and welcome to That Analytics Show. Yes, it is me, Amanda Webb. I am your analytics nerd, here to teach you and enthuse you about the power of analytics. Now, I'm excited about today's show because I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things I think are properly important in your Google Analytics. Things called custom events. Now, some of you are going, Amanda, I know what custom events are. You don't need to explain. But what these really do is they can help you understand if your website is working. But the problem is that to create complex custom events, you need Tag Manager, and Tag Manager, I know, can be a head wreck for some people. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share five custom events that you can create without using Tag Manager. Do you want to know how this stuff works? Do you want to know how you can create custom events in Google Analytics, why we should create custom events so that you can see the success of your website without having to wrangle the likes of Tag Manager? I know you do. So let's get on with it. I have this special website where I just set up things to test. So we're going to work on that today, and that's why you're hardly seeing anything going on in analytics. Now, do want to tell you about a tool that I'm going to use first. It's this one here. It's called Tag Assistant Companion. Now that's a Chrome plugin, and it connects up to your Google Analytics account, or actually you can use it on any analytics account on the web, and it will tell you if things are firing. So that's why we've got that there. Event number one, page views. Now page views are, you might think, okay, if somebody views a page, why would I make that a custom event? I can see that in my Google Analytics already. But actually, we're looking at specific page views that might be related to somebody taking an action on your site. So for example, when somebody fills in a form on your site, do they get sent to a thank you page? And if they don't, and if you don't want to use Tag Manager, you should set this up. You should have a thank you page that you send people to. And you know when people arrive on that thank you page that they've completed that form. That's what it does for you. So we can set up page view events, the easiest one in the world to set up very easily within Google Analytics without Tag Manager. Now, I will say that until recently, I didn't realize I could set up any other events than page events through Google Analytics. I was doing it all in Tag Manager. So let's go into admin, and we're going to scroll down, and here you'll see events. This is our interface for creating events. So then I'm going to go to create event. So you see I've got a couple of those already. And here's my website, and I've actually created a shortcut to the thank you page. I know when people hit this page, they should have come from filling in a form on my website. So I'm going to go back into my analytics, and I'm just going to create this. Click on create. I need to give it a name, and I start everything with test page. I'm going to call it view, just so that I know what sort of custom event it is. Page view thank you. Okay, so that's what's going to come up in my Google Analytics whenever this is triggered. Next, we need to tell Google Analytics what is it that's going to happen for this. So event name equals, so this is a page view event. We know we want to trigger this when somebody visits a page. So where it says event name equals, you want to put in page view. Then we want to add a condition, because we don't want this to trigger every time somebody visits a page on our website. We only want it to trigger when they visit that thank you page on the website. So if I click add condition, and here, if I start typing, we should get it page location. Instead of equals this time, I'm going to go for contains. And then what I want to do here is just take the / thank you /. Now, you'll need to go to your thank you page, whatever your thank you page is, and make sure that you've got like the whole bit of this page path is what we will call that. That's kind of the end of your link. So make sure you've got all of that and paste that in. Everything else looks good to me. So we're going to click create. Right, so I've created this. How do I know if it is working? Now, that's where our Tag Assistant Companion comes in. If I click onto that, when I'm on this page, if I click onto that, Does a little bit of work. It says, is this a page? So we can see that is the URL of the page that I'm starting on. And now we can see that Tag Assistant is connected. And then at the top here, we've got another window open or another tab open with a little blue flashy thing inside. That's where we want to go. And click on continue. And at the top here, you'll see you'll have your Google Analytics and you will have your tag manager. We want to look at Google Analytics. So if that's not blue, click on it. They could be the other way around. Sometimes tag manager can be before that. So we can see that it's a page view hit has been sent. So now I just want to go and visit the thank you page. So imagine I filled in this form, I've clicked the submit button. Let's visit the thank you page. And there we go. Test page view thank you, which is that custom event that I've created has been triggered. We can see that has happened when I've gone to the thank you page. So we know that one works. Great stuff. How do we create a click event? So this is really useful, particularly if you're sending people off site. So if you're sending people to your Facebook page or a LinkedIn account or whatever, it would be really useful to know that people have clicked that button or clicked that link. And the reason for that is because, of course, you can't add your Google Analytics to LinkedIn. So you can only see that they've clicked that link. So that's exactly what I've got up here. Click this link will bring you to my LinkedIn profile. So let's see what happens when I click that link using Tag Assist. I'm clicking on the Chrome extension, Tag Assist. You can see the URL it's going to. So I'm going to connect it and click continue. Now it's gone straight into my tag manager. That's why there's extra stuff here. I just want to go into my Google Analytics and there we can see the page view. So what happens when I go down here and I click that link? Go to LinkedIn and here we can see there is an event, a click event. Now that's just a standard event that Google collects automatically. So we want to say when this particular link is clicked, we want to trigger a custom event. So I'm going to click on click. And if I scroll down, I can see all the information. Now when I was first learning this, I was like, this is so much stuff. I don't know what it means. But really what we're looking for is your event parameters at the bottom, because this is what we can hook into. And here we can see there is an event parameter called link URL. So this is the information I'm going to need. I want to set up a click event, and then I am going to set up that click event that is going to contain some of this. So I'm not sure if I made sense there, but well, you'll see when I do it. So I'm going in, let's just look at where I went to again. I went into admin and I went into events and I click create event, click on create, test, click LinkedIn. So that's enough information to tell me what that's going to be when it appears in my analytics. So the event name, remember what we're looking for here is the click. The event name is click. And if I click into this, actually scroll right down to the bottom, event name, click, we can see that there. So we're just matching that up. I'm going back in here and I'm saying the event name equals click. And then because we don't want to measure all clicks, I need to add a second section, a parameter here. This one isn't going to come up automatically when I start typing. So I'm going to type in link underscore URL, and instead of equals, I'm going to go with contains. We just want this bit here. Right, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to paste that in. So now we can see very similar, event name equals click, link URL contains. So I haven't got the www or the HTTP or anything like that. I've just taken a piece of the link. And then if I click create, that's done. So we need to check this works now. And because we've done something, we need to refresh. I need to start that Tag Assist off again. So I'm going to go back to the page that it happens on, click on the Tag Assistant. Yep, it's got the right URL in there. Click connect. Right, so it's opened a new version of the page. You don't want to go back to the original one, but a version of the page here that has this Tag Assistant window on it. I'm going to go over to here and click continue, and we're in our Google Analytics and we can see the page view. So now let's scroll down, and this is always nervous in case I mess something up. Click this link, and if we go back there, we can see our custom event has been triggered. We've got click, which is the standard event, and we've got test click LinkedIn. So now I can start to see in my Google Analytics how many people are clicking that LinkedIn link. Why would we need to measure a scroll on a website? Well, we get a lot of spam traffic, right? You get spam traffic coming to your website and they come in and they leave immediately. And we know that's not valuable. And sometimes it's not even spam traffic. Sometimes people are coming to your website and leaving immediately because it's not what they expected or they're in the wrong place. When somebody scrolls, we know they are interested. If they've scrolled, and with Google Analytics only, not with Tag Manager, you can only measure a 90% scroll. They've scrolled your entire page. So that's going to be really valuable to know. These are valuable visitors who are interested in what you do. So we need to find out when that scroll event happens. So I'm going to go to the home page for this one. And we want to see, remember, we want to look first at Tag Assistant to see what happens. So if I click onto this, so we've opened our Tag Assistant on the home page this time. We can see it's connected on this window here, and we can see in this little flashy tab that it's connected here. We're in Google Analytics. We can see there is a page view. So now, can we trigger that scroll event? So if I start scrolling down, I'm going to go quite slowly, not that slowly, quite slowly to make sure it triggered. I think sometimes I was ahead of myself earlier on. So I'm going to go quite slowly, and you can see this is just like a template site. There's nothing actually on it except for what I add in. So I'm going to keep scrolling. It's very interesting, isn't it? So I'm going to keep scrolling because we need to get 90% before that scroll triggers. Great. Okay, so I've got to the bottom of the page, and yeah, we can see the scroll event has triggered. Great. And if I look down, I can see that there's a couple of things here. We've got the page title, and we've also got the page location. Now, this is my home page. Well, it's the home page on this particular site. So I'm not going to take the page location. I'm going to go for the page title. So I'm just going to copy that. And we're going to go and set up a custom event based on a scroll on the home page. And then we'll know somebody has scrolled the home page. So let's go into our analytics. From the dashboard, go to events, go to create event, click on create, and I'm going to call this test home page scroll. So this time the event name equals scroll, because that's what we found in our Tag Assistant. But it's not a scroll on any page. We want to know that they've scrolled the home page. So I'm going to click on add condition. And this time it's going to be, and luckily it does have this one. I start typing page and page title comes up. And page title actually equals, because it's exact. And I'm going to paste that in. And now create. Now, is this working? I'm going to get out of our Tag Assistant windows that I have open. And this time we're going to start again. So I'm in the home page. I'm clicking on Tag Assist. Click on connect. Let's just check. It's this window has popped up. That's good. Over here, it's popped up. I'm in Tag Manager. I want to be in Google Analytics. So I'm selecting that one, and we can see the page view has been triggered. Right. So if I scroll down, is it going to work? Fingers crossed. So don't go too fast. I'm going to go nice and slowly. Remember, it has to be 90% of the page for this to trigger in Google Analytics. You can, in Tag Manager, set up scroll depths before that, but let's just go. We're almost there now. Almost there. Got to go right to the bottom. Right. Fingers crossed. It's happened. We can see that our test homepage scroll custom event has come in. The fourth one I'm going to show you is a file download. File downloads can be things like if you've got a lead magnet on your site and somebody downloads that, or a brochure that somebody downloads. Generally it's PDFs, but there are other file types that you can measure as well. So I have set one up that we can look at and see if it's working. So if I go to my test site, on my homepage, I have a download. It has to be a link that somebody clicks to download the file. So I've created this button on my site where you can download my phrasebook, my Google Analytics phrasebook. I'm going to go into Tag Assist Companion. I'm going to click onto that. We can see it's opening up the home page of the website. Click on Connect. The Tag Assistant window is opened on the right hand side, so I know it's working, and I'm going to go into the blue flashing tab because that's where I see the details. Click on Continue. Click on Google Analytics. I can see we've got the page view in there, so it's working. So now when I click this button, brings you into the phrasebook. Over here we can see it has triggered the file download event. So I'm clicking on that so I can see more information. And right down here I can see the file name is this. So I'm just going to copy that because we're going to need that when we set up this event. We're in the admin section of Google Analytics. If I scroll down to events, click on create event and create. And again, I'm going to start it with tests, so remember to delete it later. And it's a file download event. And it is, I'm just going to say phrase book for speed. That's the information it will send to Google Analytics when that happens. So this time the event name, let's just double check what the event name is. Down here somewhere. File download. So you can see it's file underscore download. So I'm going to copy that. Add condition. And what did we say it was? Let's go back in. Yes, the file name, file underscore name. And I'm just going to go with contains. I'm going to go with contains. So again, this event parameter file name, that's what I want. Copy that, paste it in, and create. So we're going from our home page, clicking on Tag Assist Companion, clicking on Connect. We can see that the Tag Assistant window is open. We're going into the blue flashy tab and clicking Continue. Make sure we've selected Google Analytics here, not Google Tag Manager. Right, so if I click on this button now, yes, we've got a custom event test file download phrasebook. So we know that the phrasebook has been downloaded. Okay, so far, all 4 events I've shown you have been very similar to create, and you've got the hang of it now. We're going to go into a more complicated one now. And this is spurring from a tip that I got from Dana Di Tommaso, because we recorded a podcast episode. Podcast is coming up in November about audiences. And this was one of the tips that she shared. Well, not this specific one, because I wanted to leave her one is even better. I wanted to leave that one for the podcast. But it's a different way of creating conversions. There's key custom events. There's 2 ways that you can create custom events in Google Analytics. One is here from your admin panel. You can go into events and create them there. The second way that you can create them is within audiences. So this is where we get to do something more interesting. If somebody visits your site and leaves straight away, they're not a valuable visitor. If somebody visits your site and spends time on your site, they're more likely, or the theory would be that they're more likely to make a purchase for you. And you can prove this theory using analytics. Now, I'm going to create an audience here of people who stay on the website for 10 seconds because it's very quick. But you might want to look at the average amount of time that people spend on your site and set up an audience that is for people that spend longer than that amount of time on your site. And then you can actually see if those people are converting. But we can also set up a custom event that triggers when somebody spends longer than 10 seconds on your site. Let's have a look at how we would do that. So I'm going to scroll down to audiences this time in the admin panel. I'm going to click on new audience and create custom audience. And I'm going to call it stayed 10 seconds or more. And now include users when. So if I just click on that, and if I start typing duration, we can see session duration here. And then click add filter. And I want it to be equal to or greater than 10. I'm just going to put 10 in for 10 seconds and click on apply. Right, so that's set up. Now, because I want to be able to track every time somebody comes and spends longer than 10 seconds on my website, I'm going to go down to the lowest audience membership duration of 1 day. And then I'm going to click on create new under audience trigger, create new. And this is where we're setting up an event. This means that every time somebody enters the audience, they will trigger an event. So I'm going to call this test underscore audience underscore, what is it? 10 seconds. 10 second visitor. And here we've got the option to log an additional event when the membership refreshes. I'm going to go yes, because that means if they come in the next day that yes, they will be another event. And click on save. And at the top here, click on save. Now, since Dana told me about this, I've been experimenting with this, and I cannot, as soon as I've set it up, you can see, as soon as you set up an audience, it's going to be less than 10 users. And that's because it only starts putting people in the audience once you set it up. So because this was a brand new audience, when I tried to test it with our Tag Assist companion, it wasn't working for me. You actually need to have a number of people in the audience before it works. It's not just going to show you the first person. Or that's what I surmised from it, because I did test it on my own website, and when I did enter the audience, it did work. So we've set it up. We won't be able to see in Tag Assist Companion yet whether it works. But what you will want to do is go and start looking at your reporting to see, does it trigger? So firstly, if we go into reports, I've gone into engagement events. And here you can see all the events that have been triggered in this time frame. So you should see your events popping in here. If I go over to my acquisition and traffic acquisition, you'll see direct here, and you'll be able to see other things. So you should be able to see organic search, organic social, email, referral, all of those. But just because this is a test website, that's not there. But over here, we can see event count, all events, and you'll actually be able to select. So navigation click, for example, is one of the custom events that I've got set up. And I can see in that time period that I've had one navigation click event appear. So that's how you'll be able to see it in simple terms. For more detail, you'd want to look at your Explore tab. Here's the thing. If you don't want to do all this stuff yourself, if it all sounds really complicated, if you would prefer somebody set all the stuff up in Tag Manager, that's where I can help, because I have a done for you service. So you can come along, you can book a call with me, and we can discuss your needs and see which package would be available for you. That's what I do. That's what I love doing. I love putting together people's analytics accounts so you can make better measurement driven decisions. So that is all for this month's That Analytics Show. I will be back next month, the first Friday of the month, and I'm going to put up a poll again to see what it is that you would like me to discuss. So until then, bye-bye.